And welcome to the Sound Alive Sports Network, our first baseball broadcast of the year. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks versus the Lynnwood Royals. We will get you lineups here as we go along. We are two batters in already here. 0-2 count, or rather 1-2 count. Make that 2-2 as Ben Rainin pitches to Bryce Foster, the other pitcher for the day. First batter of the game was Carson Horner, the second baseman for Lynnwood. Horner popped up to shallow left field where the shortstop, Drew Sears, was able to make a play. No hitter today for Ben Rainin as Bryce Foster with the single. He is on base, our first base runner of the day. And for Lynnwood, that will bring up number 6, Lawton Manapun. Manapun is your first baseman this afternoon, wearing the number 6 uniform. And one of the joys of broadcasting high school sports, one of the fans in the stands decided to give me a lineup of the game today, and I wrote it all down, or started to, and then I found out it wasn't correct. So we are correcting our lineup as we go here, so bear with us while we get names written into the book and figure out who's who and all that other fun stuff. But so far so good as Carson Horner again pops out to short. Foster with the trickler between first and second base. He gets on. It's Ben Rainin making sure that he stays honest over there and doesn't go anywhere. Rainin winds and pitches. Just a bit low. Ball 1-0 to Manapun. Both of these teams entering this game with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss on the season. Both are 1-0 in league play, and this is a league game. Another pickoff move over to first as Foster diving back into the base. Foster getting another lead. Rainin winds. Looks into Nolan Takaya. Takaya's going to go down to first. They're trying to get Foster. Couldn't quite get him out there. So he dives back into the base. Foster on the year through 3 games so far. 2 for 2 on stolen base attempts. The junior over there with his lead. 2 balls and no strikes. Manapun standing in there. Outside corner. 2-1 is the count. Rainin with his second start of the year. Looks in, gets ready to pitch. No, we're going to get another throw over to first base. We might be here a while. Rainin looking in one more time. Rainin pitching 5 innings last week. Gave up 3 hits. Ball rolls foul. Struck out 2 in his previous outing. 2-2 count to Lawton Manapun. Kyler McMahon on deck wearing the number 14 uniform. Rainin coming in this time, bounces it about 5 feet short of the plate, and we've got a full count. I think, are you on, Vince?
I think so.
There we go. Vince DeMiro has joined us. How are you?
I've untangled and joined you here.
Well, good to have you. There we go.
It's good to be here.
First baseball game of the season for us. 4th game of the year for both of these 2 teams. Our perch here at Mountlake Terrace High School, and Manapun limes that one over the head of Sears into left field. Maxfield cuts it off and gets it back into the infield. Everybody advancing 90 feet as Foster heads down to second on the play. Manapun ends up at first, and that's going to bring up Kyler McMahon.
Yeah, Rainin kind of just worked himself into a situation where he had to get something over the plate, and the Royals knew that. Nice piece of hitting there by the young man.
Second and first, 2 on, only 1 out here in the first inning.
Boy, that's a good
McMahon
pitch.
Steps up, a little bit outside, ball 1, 1-0. McMahon batting in that 4 spot. So far on the year, he is batting 5 for 10. That's my Mountlake Terrace math serves me correctly. That is a 500 batting average.
That's pretty good. I think you go with that. So.
Has 1 double and 4 singles. He's also batted in 2. Looking for more right now. It's a Mountlake Terrace or a Lynnwood team that is off to a nice start. Albeit maybe admittedly against teams of lesser strength. As Sears goes to second for 1. The relay over to first is not in time. Do get the force out there on Manapun as he is thrown out. So McMahon on the play goes to first base. Foster over on third right now. It's going to bring up Jarrett Whitman, the left fielder. Whitman, a sophomore. Stands in, facing Ben Rainin. Rainin with the pickoff move one more time.
A lot of pitchers are a little bit more reluctant to go over there to first when you've got a runner over at third. Ben is not. He's got a very nice move.
Not afraid to use that move. I think he's already leading the league in
there it is again,
pickoff moves already in 1 inning here so far today.
Yep. I think it's a good move, too, because not just because it's a good move, but because it's also keeping that runner very honest over at first, and you don't want to give up another base here.
Whitman, by the way, for the season so far, 7 for 9, batting .778. Outside, throw down to second base. They're going to come through to home now. It's in time.
Absolutely.
Nolan Takaya putting the tag on. Drew Sears, I believe that was, with the throw to home.
That was the second baseman.
Or was that the second baseman?
Yep.
So Hussey making the play. Throwing out throwing out Foster at home plate, and we've come to the end of the first half of inning number 1. No score. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. I almost said Mountlake Terrace Stadium. It feels like a stadium sometimes.
Right?
Why not?
Yeah. We should come up with a name for this place. We ought to honor somebody or something, right?
You can tell we haven't done a baseball game in a while.
Yeah.
It's far from being a stadium, but it's a nice field
it's a
at
good
that.
Park, yeah.
We enjoy it.
And it's going to get better, too. I understand that we're due for some new turf here in about a year, so that'll be kind of fun.
So Jaden Yackley leading off the game here for Mountlake Terrace. And if you're just joining us, I was given some false information on who some of these players were in the field, so we're going to be catching up on names as we go. Center fielder putting that one away and making the play.
Jaden just got under it a little bit. Boy, he swings a good bat, though. It has been so much fun watching him improve here and just grow as a ball player over the last 3 years. It's just been great. Here's another kid that's not too bad of a ball player either. Huh?
By the way, that was Bobby Graham who made the catch out there in the outfield.
Yeah.
Player we know fairly well from doing football games
That's
this
right.
year. He had a nice season. And Drew Sears is at the plate. You're not a kid, and Drew Sears having a nice year so far. He's 6 for 10.
That'll work.
I think if you can guarantee 6 hits every 10 times up.
Yeah, I'll take that.
If you're Drew Waters, you will take that from your starting shortstop. Strike 1, 1-1 is the count. we were joking. I think he was 1 for 3 in his last game, and his average just fallen all the way down to 600 now. He's got to get that thing back up now, right?
There you go.
That's one way to do it. Is he lines it over to left field, diving and making the catch. That is
Nice
your
play.
left fielder, and that is Mr. Jared Whitman.
I tell you, I had that thing penciled in as a base hit, and if he doesn't get that, Sears might have just cleared the bases. That was an all-out, going to get it or going to give one up.
The way I was calling that, I figured it was going to fall as well, and Whitman just comes flying in there, making the nice snag on that sinker as it was falling into left field. And coming up now, Jason Shavenko. Player you've seen once or twice, right?
A couple, 2-3 times, yeah. I tell you, this starting 3 for the Hawks it's got to be some of the better ball players in the league, right?
It's not bad, right? They're doing okay in pitching wise. Both of these teams really with solid pitching. I know Lynnwood's a little bit banged up right now. We were just talking about this a few minutes ago. That Lucas Youngman, who the last time these two teams played struck out 10. That was in the only time that Lynnwood and Mountlake Terrace faced each other last year.
Yeah.
He's unable to pitch right now.
Oh, really? Huh?
He got a little bit of a shoulder thing going on, but I think they expect him back at some point. He is DHing today, but at any rate, both of these teams very tough so far on the mound this year. Mentioned Lynnwood having an 11-1 as well as a 12-2 win over those wins were against Cascade and Shorecrest.
Yeah.
Also lost a game by 4 to Jackson, 6-2. Fouled off. We've got a 2-2 count to Shavenko. But you're right, Jason Shavenko, player you've seen numerous times pitch with your son playing here last year. Raining obviously with a good outing so far, as well as a good one last week. Ball is hit into left field. Easy play for Whitman right there, and he puts that one away. It's a 1-2-3 inning for the Hawks. We're through 1 inning of play. No score here at Mountlake Terrace. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back on the Sound Alive Sports Network. Mountlake Terrace versus Lynnwood. Westco 3A baseball. I like the sound of that. These two teams playing the last couple years in non-conference games, as Lynnwood was a 4A team. And Vince, you're a Lynnwood alum. I'm a Mountlake Terrace alum. And it just doesn't seem right when these two teams aren't in the same conference.
Absolutely. That's right. Nice pitch.
Swinging and missing. That is number 35, Jared Whitman. Whitman, who was at the plate just a few moments ago for Lynnwood, and fortunately for him, he didn't get to finish his at-bat when Foster was thrown out at home plate. Rainin throwing another one, strike 2, 1-2.
When he has that pitch working, Steve, that is just trouble. Watch where the young man is standing in the box, too. He's got his right foot just about over the line here. He likes crowding it.
Here comes the pitch to Whitman.
Oh, jeez.
Strike 3.
Boy. I tell you, Ben, when he has all the tools working out there, he has a lot of movement on his pitches. It's a lot of fun to watch. Not much fun to hit against.
Was talking to his dad, Ted, right before the game and asked him what have you noticed is the biggest difference from last year to this year for Ben? And he said it's the velocity. You know, it's the velocity and the placement of the ball, and he's doing that very well so far, and we're seeing it here in the second inning.
Well, that's the thing, too. I know, having worked with young pitchers for several years, is that as they get a little bit older, sure, they can throw harder, but it just makes that changeup that much more devastating if they can keep that in their toolbox of pitches.
This is number 22, Brady Gerges at the plate.
There it is.
Gerges, the junior. 1-1 is the count.
That's a pitch that's almost impossible to hit that far out and away. Low.
Rainin, after giving up a couple of hits in that first inning, seems to be settling down rather nicely right now. That ball's popped up right above our heads here.
Yep. Almost exactly right above our head.
Glad we have a
little roof over our head here.
Glad we have the lumber ahead of us here over our heads. Is that is protecting us?
It's pretty unusual for a ball to make it right here because of that net, but it did it.
1-2 count. Outside and in the, I was going to say in the dirt, but it's in the turf.
In the turf.
Ball 2-2.
Talking to catchers who have played here over the years, that's not an easy ball to handle. And then what makes it worse is sometimes you'll get a little spray of that little rubber that is put into the turf to keep things kind of soft. And if it gets up in your eyes, that's no fun.
Gerges, who's 3 for 10 on the year, make that 4 for 11 now as he gets on base. Should also mention that he is leading the team in RBI so far this year. He has 6 of them through the first 3 games. We have a pinch runner coming for him. Courtesy runner, rather. Jacob Dugan, the senior. So we mentioned Lynnwood in the first inning here with a 2-1 record. Mountlake Terrace also 2-1. They defeated Kamiak 7-1 back on, I guess it was a week ago today,
yeah.
Tuesday, March 17th, the game that Ben Rainin pitched in. Lost to Snohomish the very next day, 4-1, and then they beat Meadowdale 3-2 on Friday. A game in which they scored the winning run in the bottom of the 6th inning. A game that counts in the standings with so many teams this year in Wesco.
Yeah.
Playing league games much sooner than you normally would.
You're right. You are right.
Both of these teams already in game number 2 out of 4. Swung on and missed there. Strike 1 to Bobby Graham. Rainin throwing over to first base one more time. That one gets away from Prothero. Hussey comes over to back that one up and gets it back onto the mound. This is a Lynnwood team that stole 15 bases in their first 3 games so far.
That's impressive.
Whitman has 3. Graham has 2. Foster has 2. McMahon has 3. Hacker has 2. Manapun has 2. And Cooper has 1.
If you can maintain that kind of commitment to the stealing and to the base running, that's going to produce a lot of runs over the course of a season.
One name I didn't mention was Dugan, and he's the one that's leading off right now. Diving back over there into first base. 1-1 is the count.
You've got to imagine that the Hawks coaching staff has seen the same stats you're referring to.
Well, these are 2 teams that know each other very, very well. That ball's hit over to short. Diving for it, Drew Sears gets by him. Maxfield throws that one back in very quickly, and much like last inning, Lynnwood with 2 on and 1 out as Gerges sends over it, or I should say Dugan, courtesy runner for Gerges, is over at second base. Graham ending up at first with a single, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Lucas Youngman.
Sometimes it's the little things, too, that over the course of a game that start to add up. That's not a base hit if there's not a runner on first base, because Sears had to play honest over there. Closer to second than he normally would be.
Outside corner, strike 1.
Because he didn't miss it by much as he was diving to his right.
Youngman, this is his first, he has 1 plate appearance already this year. He's 0 for 0. And he has an RBI, so a sacrifice of some sort. I mentioned he's not able to pitch right now, coming off of a little bit of a shoulder injury.
That's too bad.
10 strikeouts against Mountlake Terrace last year over the course of 2 days.
Right. I remember that.
Game was rain delayed, and they finished it the next day, a game in which Lynnwood defeated Mountlake Terrace 2-1.
That's right. That was a good game.
Youngman knocks that one down the third baseline, just out of the reach of Yackley. Foul.
I always like to hear it a little louder from the umpire than that, but okay.
the ump whisperer.
Yeah, there you go.
0-2 count to Youngman.
Nice pitch by Ben, by the way.
Youngman, a big athletic kid, plays tight end on the football team. Outside, ball 1-2. So we know if he gets a hold of one, he can let it travel a ways. Rainan's doing his best to make sure that doesn't happen. By the way, the sun's starting to come out right now. This is not bad.
All kinds of trouble for those outfielders. Ooh.
Just a bit high. Ball 2-2. So, Vince, you've been watching up here. Well, I'm looking over here as Keith Lampers is running the scoreboard right now. That was your job the last few years while your son played. A little different now that you're up here without a DeMiro on the field?
It is.
Strike
nice
three.
Pitch, Ben. Jeez. Just threw one past him. That's something, huh?
Brought the heat that time, and Youngman strikes out. That's the second strikeout of the inning. It's going to bring up number 8, Chase Hacker.
That's a good baseball batter's name.
You like that, huh?
I do. Baseball or golf, it's got to be, right?
Sure, if you're the pitcher, you like the fact you're facing a guy named Hacker. It's Chase's job to make sure that it's not that easy.
That's right.
Hacker is a junior.
I tell you, this Lynnwood program has come along the last couple of years, hasn't it? Some really nice young men playing up here and good coaching. Nice
in that 4A level last year, they were 13-6 going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
They, unfortunately for them, didn't do very well in that 4A, as I think they lost to Lake Stevens and Arlington to be eliminated. But
two very good teams.
Yeah, indeed. Well, if you get to the playoffs, usually it doesn't get any easier, right?
Sure
in theory. This is a Lynnwood team that's got a lot of seniors on it this year, too.
Oh, he went, didn't he?
Hacker did check swing. They're looking for the ball still, and finally Takaya comes up with it and throws him out at first base, and that is the third out.
Yep.
And Ben Rainan going to get credit for his third strikeout there. And we've come to the end of the top of the second inning. No score. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Vince DeMiro for now. Vince is going to have to run on us here shortly, but we appreciate him sticking around. So we head into the bottom of the second inning. No score here from Mountlake Terrace High School. And look at this. Vince, if you give me enough time, I can at some point catch up and have the entire diamond written up. And now when people get
oh my goodness.
People hit the ball into the outfield, I can actually mention a player by name now as opposed
to get through there. There you go. Jess, jeez, nice piece of hitting.
His first hit of the game, first base runner for Mountlake Terrace, as they were 3 up, 3 down in the first inning. Prothero getting on.
Here's a young man that I've had the privilege of having in class. Well, actually, a lot of these guys I've had in class, but
talking about Maxfield or Prothero?
Well, both of them, but Maxfield in particular, I'm excited to see him play because I haven't had that opportunity yet in person. Just seen some things that he's done on video. So
Maxfield coming up for his first at bat. Mentioned he's playing left field today.
Mm-hmm. Little issue with the catcher's gear there. That's all been straightened out now.
No pun intended, or is there pun intended?
No. Could be. I don't want to delve into that at this point in the broadcast, but if you're going to bring it up, I don't think it was that. I think it was a helmet issue, to clarify for those of you.
I was talking about helmet too, but helmets need to be straightened out as well.
Absolutely.
So how about that baseball game?
Yeah, exactly. get through.
Goes down low on that
Shoot.
one. Oh, hits it over the shortstop. Steps on second for one. Throw
That's too
over to
bad.
first base. Nice play by McMahon as he fielded that one very cleanly.
Very cleanly.
Rather than give it to Horner, does it himself, throws it over to Manapin, and we have 2 outs that quickly. And that's going to bring up Nolan Takaya, the catcher. Foster.
How's Nolan doing at the plate so far?
Let's take a look at Nolan's stats here, shall we?
I sure like him behind the plate, that's for sure.
He's replacing a pretty good one from last year, Wyatt Hallman.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. The Hawks, for years now, have always seemed to have a great backstop of some note, whether offensive or just throwing out a lot of people.
Takaya 2 for 8 so far this year at the plate.
Okay.
Should mention the Hawks through 3 games, only batting .264, so really getting it done with pitching thus far. Yep. Again, that's not a huge sample there. That's only 3 games in. Certainly a lot of younger players playing here early on in the year. And
Seeing their first varsity action. And,
like you mentioned, a lot of good pitching on this Mountlake Terrace team. Certainly if you're looking for games that are going to be a little quicker this year than others, this might be the team to follow.
Yep.
And Takaya strikes out, and we've come to the end of 2 innings. So far, we're scoreless. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. The Hawks and the Royals scoreless heading to the 3rd inning. And once again, Lynnwood gaining another runner on base. This time, Carson Horner up for his 2nd at-bat of the game. Popped out to Drew Sears at shortstop in the 1st inning. This time, make sure that Drew can't catch that one. It's through the infield, and he is over on first base. And Bryce Foster, the pitcher, coming up. Foster also singling in the 1st inning, was eventually thrown out at home plate to end the 1st on an attempted double steal. Ball is bounced into the catcher, and Takaya doing a nice job to keep that one in front of him.
Very nice.
Ball 1. 1-0 is the count. Other than being thrown out at home plate, Foster having himself a pretty good game so far.
Yep.
Like we mentioned, he singled already. Ended up getting over to 3rd on a fielder's choice. Actually, another single to 2nd and then a fielder's choice before getting thrown out. The junior looking good on the mound so far, though. Mentioned has a 1.40 ERA coming into this game through 1 appearance last week. Rainin with the wind and the throw. Foster lays down the bunt. A nice bunt at that, right down the first baseline. Prothro flips that one over to Hussey, who's covering over at the base. Foster is thrown out, but on the play, executes the sacrifice rather nicely, and
Yeah.
Horner goes down to second.
In a game like this, that might be a difference maker. You never know. You got to get guys in scoring position, especially when you've got your hitters coming up here at this part of the lineup.
And Lawton Manapin up for the second time. He also singled in the first inning before eventually ending up getting thrown out at second base on a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss, strike one.
It just doesn't look fair when he throws that, I tell you. If your knees aren't sore, if you watch that pitch too often, they're going to get real sore.
Yeah, he does a nice job with changing up his speed. It's like his dad mentioned earlier. When I told his dad I needed a scouting report, and he mentioned fastball, curveball, and changeup.
Yeah.
Throws all three.
Haven't seen a whole lot of the curveball yet, but
You're throwing that changeup. You don't really need it, right?
Oh, absolutely not. No. Guy can play a lot of baseball with two pitches.
And you've seen Rainin over the years.
Yeah,
Does he throw that curveball quite a bit?
Yeah, it's devastating when he's got it working. It's a 12-6. There's that fastball now. It just looks really fast after he's thrown that previous pitch, man.
Ben's again, you see this from time to time, or almost every year in baseball, really. These guys get a year older, and it's always fun to see how much better they are after 10 or 11 or 12 months. And
yeah,
Ben was a good player last year for us here at Mountlake Terrace, and certainly looks like he's improved his game even that much more now. Wind and the ball trickle right down to Drew Sears. Sears does not have a play anywhere, just has to pick it up and hold it.
A little swinging base hit bunt there almost, huh?
And we'll give Manapin a single, so he's
Absolutely.
2 for 2 on the day. On the play, Horner heads on over to third base. First and third, one out, and that's going to bring up number 14, Kyler McMahon. McMahon in the first inning.
Lynnwood did not
Yeah,
execute
fielder's
this
choice.
very well last time they had first and third. We'll see what happens here.
One out.
Well,
It's
that's
that
way
one
to do it.
into left center field and heading back. Back are the outfielders. Making the play as Maxfield, however. Tagging up and scoring is Carson Horner. Lynnwood drawing first blood. They are up 1-0 here in the third inning.
They're going to challenge the tag over here. And it's called safe. I wasn't able to see. I tried to keep an eye on it, but the booth here's got some fun little opportunities for us.
We've got a few obstructed views, if you will. RBI to McMahon as he flies out. So 1-0 here, third inning of play. Whitman at the plate.
Oh, boy. Little jersey brush there.
I'm going to say it touched him, and
Yep.
he will head
That's
on
all
over
it
to
takes.
first base.
That's all it takes. It's too bad. 2 outs, though. You can work out of this.
So 2 outs, you have runners at first and second. It's going to bring up Brady Gerges. Gerges singling back in the second inning. Mentioned earlier, he does lead the Royals here in assist. Boy, I've been doing a lot of basketball this year. In RBI so far this year with 6.
It's a form of an assist.
It is an assist, really, right? It should be. They're just words.
Yeah, we knew what you meant.
Ball 1-0 to Gerges.
Nice pitch.
Strike 1, 1-1. There is only one call for a strike. You can't get basketball lingo and jargon mixed up there.
Yep.
No other way to say it. Rainin with the pitch. Down low. Bounces up to Takaya. Ball 2-0. 2-1. So Manapin over at second base. Whitman at first. Ball is hit into right field. Shavenko underneath it. Makes the play, and we've come to the end of the top of the third, but not before Lynnwood gets on the board. They've got their first run, and they lead 1-0. We head to the bottom of the third. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. The Hawks and the Royals from Mountlake Terrace and Lynnwood doing battle here. Bottom of the third inning, Lynnwood with the 1-0 lead. As Bryce Foster continuing to do work here on the mound for Lynnwood, has yet to give up a run. Throws his first strike to Zane Phillips. Now looking at a 3-1 count.
I think I might take again here.
So far, Foster facing the minimum number of batters. 1-2-3 first inning. Gave up a single to Jesse Prothero,
Nice.
and there you go, Phillips. Hitting that ball right down the right field line. Coming up with it rather quickly is Hacker, and he gets it back in. And much like last inning, Mountlake Terrace getting the first batter of the inning on base. Didn't work out very well last time as the second batter hit into a double play. That was Jared Maxfield. Alex Hussey, the second baseman, up for his first time today and looking to break that string right here and try to get the Hawks back into this game.
Hawks looking to kind of give Lynnwood a little dose of their own medicine here. Maybe laying down a bunt, get that runner in scoring position.
Foster with the pitch. Inside, it gets away from the catcher and heading on down to second base.
Now he can swing.
Is Zane Phillips.
Why not? Did his job, right? Umpire said he showed bunt there and made a little attempt at the ball, so that's a strike. But it
I
works,
think you'll sacrifice the strike for
better.
the
It's better, yeah.
getting your base runner over to second base with no outs.
Wow.
Foster with that submarine move.
That is way off the plate, man.
Strike two. 1-2 is the count.
Good setup out there, too.
Inside, ball two, 2-2. Couldn't tell if that was inside or was that low. It's
I guess
hard.
it was
From our
low,
vantage point
yeah.
up here, it looked like it might have been a bit low.
I guess that might have been out in the other box that time. Huh? You
Ball
never know,
three.
though, right? You got to wait.
Give Gerges a lot of credit, though. He almost brought that one in to
He did, yeah. He's got
to
that
paint
pitch.
it rather perfectly. It was a 3-2 count right now. And Hussey hitting that one foul. Count's going to remain full. Hussey coming into this game 2 for 5 on the season. RBI and a run scored. Make that 3 for 6 as he gets the single into center field. Mountlake Terrace crowd
Yeah.
liking the sound of that. You can hear the
Absolutely.
cheering over to our right. Runners on the corners, nobody out.
Yeah.
And that will bring up number 14, Adam Lorraine.
Good little opportunity right here. No outs. First and third. See if the Hawks can at least manufacture a run here, right?
Lorraine only a sophomore, 1 for 7 on the season. Saw him get a little varsity time last year as a freshman.
Ooh.
Spot play. Strike inside corner. 0-1 is the count to Lorraine. So Foster really in his first jam of the day. As we mentioned, he'd faced the minimum number of batters through the first two after retiring the side in order for the first inning and then getting the double play in the second. See how he handles himself here. Outside, ball 1, 1-1. Waiting the next pitch. I would have been curious to ask the managers, didn't get a chance to talk to them too much before the game, but how much they, in fact, like playing these league games this early in the season. I think in the past, with fewer teams in Wesco 3A, and we've got a couple of pickles here going right now. Phillips getting back to third base. Nice job by the Hawks. Hussey gets over to second.
Very awkward little series there.
And again, we have the obstruction here in the booth, so I couldn't tell how far Phillips was off. Ball's hit over to shortstop. They're going to come to the plate on the play. And he's out.
Thought maybe he got under it, but guess not, huh?
McMahon coming home on that play and threw a fairly nice ball right over to Gerges. A little bit wide to his right. He did have to dive back over there, but did put the tag on Phillips. He is out. And on the play, Hussey having to stay on second base. So really not what the Hawks wanted at all.
Not at all. You just hate to make that first out at home plate.
So Phillips is out. Yackley coming up for his second at bat. He flew out to center field in the bottom of the first inning.
I mean, even if you give up that out at first and you got Yak up there with guys on second and third, it's a whole different situation. That's too bad. They had a little something going there.
Can't blame Phillips. I mean, it was a close play at the plate.
Yeah.
Almost made it.
Well, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying you hate to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there
that ball gets into center field. Everybody
Nobody's
advancing
at
on the
second.
Yeah, I was just going to say they had a play at second base if somebody had stayed there. And
good
Lorraine
recognition by Lorraine.
Yeah, taking advantage of that one.
Because normally that's trouble, right?
And when he first took off towards second base, I couldn't figure out what he was doing, and then I realized that nobody there. So second and third, 1 out. Very similar to what you had before.
Yep. See if Yackley can do something here. His kind of situation, I tell you. Oh, boy.
Yackley pops that one up along the first baseline. It's in foul territory. Might be playable, and just barely hits the top of the dugout. Might have cleared that by about 18 inches. Otherwise, that would have been a bad out for him. We've seen Yackley come through in the clutch before here for Mountlake Terrace. 0-2 count, 1 out. Runners on second and third.
Oh.
And he drills that one into left field and hits it over the head of Maxfield all the way to the fence. 2 runners are going to come in to score, and standing up at second base with a 2-run RBI double is Jaden Yackley. Hawks 2, Royals 1.
My first opportunity to see a little bit of the Yak attack this year. I tell you, that kid can hit the ball.
Seems to do it well when we broadcast games, too. As
absolutely.
I remember last year, he came through big a couple of times when we were broadcasting here on SLSN. I tell you, I lose a little perception thing there. I couldn't tell where that ball was going at first. The way Maxfield was floating back there, I thought he had an easy play at first.
Who's that in left for them?
That's I'm sorry, it's Whitman.
Yeah, Whitman back there.
With the wrong team there is Whitman. Faded back to get that one, and I thought he had a play on it at first.
I think he did too, but that ball jumps, when I tell you, Yackley's got a deceptively strong bat. Nice play.
And Sears now up for his second time today. Flew out to left field back in the first inning. Catches the outside corner, strike one, 1-1. Sears Waits for the pitch. All 2-2-1. Foster trying to catch the inside corner and just put it a little too far inside. Sears awaits the pitch. Bouncing in and on the play.
Nice.
Yackley heading down to third. Great heads-up play by Jaden Yackley. Had just a large enough lead to once he realized that ball was going to get away from Gerges just a bit, he took off.
That's a really good move on his part with just one out. Now anything in the air is going to score him, right? And, Drew at the plate was saying don't go, but Yak had a good view of the fact that the catcher didn't have the ball.
Sears right back to the pitcher, and Foster doing a nice job of fielding that one.
Yep.
Throws it over to Manapon. Easy out.
It's okay. Shavankum has an opportunity here to bump that lead up another run if he can.
Shavanko's a player that the Hawks are going to rely on very heavily this year at the plate. Off to a little bit of a slow start for Jason. He's 2 for 11. I think if you've watched Jason enough, you know that at some point he's going to get that bat going.
Yeah.
This might be a prime time for him to do that. If you are a Hawks fan, his runner on third, 2 outs. He needs a base hit here.
Yep.
2 quick strikes, though. That's not going to put him in the position he wanted to be in to start this at bat. Yackley has a little bit of a lead over there. Outside, ball 1, 1-2.
Pretty good plate discipline there because that wasn't much different than the first pitch.
Foster with the pitch.
Oh, nice pitch.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
I'm going to leave this to you now. I've got to go back in and take care of my Hawkeye minions.
All right, well, Vince DeMiro, always a pleasure.
Absolutely,
we might throw Keith Lampers on here and give him his first. He's just sitting here working the scoreboard.
If I can multitask for a couple years on this thing, you can do it, man.
Keith might know a thing or two about this Mountlake Terrace baseball team, and he's probably coached some of these Lynnwood kids as well, I would imagine. But
probably along the way, I would think, huh?
So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll see who we have with us, if anybody. But again, Vince, thank you for coming over. And
thanks, Steve.
We'll see you later.
All right, man.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network from Mountlake Terrace High School, where the Hawks have taken a 3-1 lead after a 3-run third inning. Lynnwood now trailing for the first time today and trying to catch up a little bit. They will try to do so with Bobby Graham leading off the fourth inning. 2 quick balls thrown into Graham, 2-0 count. And we've got Keith Lampers on with us right now, father of Jake Lampers from Mountlake Terrace. He's running the scoreboard, and we lost our color commentator, so I just figured, why not throw you on? Well, welcome to the Sound Live Sports Network, Keith.
Well, thank you, Steve.
Outside, ball 3-0. We'll try not to distract you just enough to where you can still run the scoreboard and not have to worry about missing anything. As Vince DeMiro's done a nice job with that over the last couple of years. We've had him multitask and run the scoreboard and do color commentary, so we figure if Vince can do it, why not Keith?
Vince probably did it for about 4 years, didn't he?
But we didn't broadcast for that long.
Oh, that's right.
Ball 4 as Graham is going to take his spot over on first base. And for the third straight inning, I believe, as we look here. Actually, that's not true. I was going to say third straight inning. I thought Lynnwood had a base runner to start the inning, but they have had an out to start off a couple of different innings so far, but then they seem to get on after that. At any rate, Lynnwood putting plenty of base runners on today. They're just not able to execute and get them around. Rainin with a pickoff move, and that was close.
That was definitely close.
Graham just able to get back in time. Yes, Prothero putting the tag on him. He's going to go with the pickoff move one more time. Another close one. So, Keith, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. You've done a lot of Little League coaching in your time, and these Lynnwood players, obviously very close in age to your own son, and with the proximity between the two schools, you've seen both of these teams play throughout the years.
Yeah, quite a few of them. I was involved with pony baseball for many, many years. So quite a few of these kids came through the same league that Jake played on, like Gerges and Bryce Foster. Quite a few of them did. And I'm recognizing a few of the names off and on now.
Pitch inside, and Youngman gets the bunt down right back to Rainin. Rainin throws over to Prothero. Nice job by Youngman to execute the sacrifices. Graham moves along to second base, and that will bring up number 8, Chase Hacker. It makes it fun, though. Vince and I talked about this momentarily. This is a rivalry that I really grew up with. These two schools, for years, not being that far apart, they still aren't. Lynnwood moving up north a little bit further, but certainly these are two schools that have always had athletes that grew up with one another, have played Little League ball with one another, no matter what sport it is. And to have these two back in the same division again this year just makes the baseball games that much better.
Oh, yeah, especially switching it up to the three-game series now. They've changed it to this year.
Oh, and right off Shavenko's glove and heading over towards second base, that's Hacker, and staying at third base is Graham. I think if Graham had seen that sooner, I think he might have tried to score on that play, as he just assumed that Shavenko had the easy out there, and I thought Jason had the play. I'm not sure if the sun got in his eyes or what happened there, but at any rate.
That's a tough play this time of night. The sun's just coming down, especially in right field there.
Give that an E9 on the play, and Hacker ends up on second.
Waters to the mound now.
Not sure what's going on here, as this certainly is not a time in which you'd pull Rainin. He's not up that high in the pitch count yet. Threw 5 innings in his first outing this year. I think maybe we're just talking strategy a bit. Second and third, one out.
Probably just a little bit of refocus.
You have Carson Horner coming back to the plate. He is your leadoff hitter. He's 1 for 2 on the day so far, but certainly a player who's more than capable of getting a couple of batters in there if he needs to. And I'm sure in a tight game like this, 3-1 game, you, as the manager, want to do everything you can to get your players focused and making sure everybody's on the same page. Strike. I keep saying the score wrong. It's 2-1, isn't it?
Yeah, 2-1.
I'm trying to give Mountlake Terrace an extra run, and that's just not the case. So if you were yelling at your computer at home, we've corrected that now. It is 2-1. It's right up on the screen, wrong in Steve Willitz's head. Warner takes that one. Outside. 1-1 is the count. Rainin with the pitch. A little low, ball 2, 2-1.
He keeps pushing that spot. He gets it once in a while. 2-1 count.
Rainin ready to go. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Carson Horner. Pops that one foul down the right field line. Out of play. It's going to bring up a 2-2. Horner standing back in, ready to go. 2 runners in scoring position. Single would give Lynnwood the lead and fouls that one off. Going to stay with a 2-2 count. And you mentioned these two teams playing each other 3 times this week. Tomorrow they will be over at Lynnwood High School. And the final game of the series, Friday, right back here at Mountlake Terrace. And they call a balk on Ben Rainin, and that will tie the game. Bobby Graham comes in to score on the play. On the play, Hacker heads over to third. What did you see there, Keith?
I didn't see him block. I was looking at something else, and I didn't see it.
You do not see a balk force a run-in very often.
No, not at this level ball.
Umpire was standing right there. He certainly saw something. Then that ball gets right by a diving Sears. Hacker easily coming in to score, giving Lynnwood a 3-2 lead. As Horner coming through one more time with his second consecutive base hit. And for the second time today, Lynnwood back in the lead by 1. And this is Waters' second trip out here this inning. He's going to take the ball from Rainin. So Ben Rainin has given up 3 runs in 3 1/3 inning. Still has one player over on the base path. Is that Raiden Silva that's coming in?
Yeah, Raiden Silva's coming in.
Silva's going to come in while he's warming up. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network, the 4th inning here at Mountlake Terrace High School. Lynnwood with 2 runs here in the 4th inning, and they've now taken a 3-2 lead. Last one coming courtesy of a Carson Horner single, which scored Chase Hacker. And Bryce Foster, the pitcher, already in position to get a win if he continues to go in at this rate, and he's going to look to help his own cause here as he steps into the plate. Singled in the first inning and had a sacrifice in the third.
Got him at 1.
There we go, a pickoff move by Raiden Silva. Silva just coming into the ball game. Picks off Carson Horner. Horner did not like the call at all. He's still complaining about it.
Coach is going over there to talk to the ref about it now.
That is first-year head coach Frazier Dizzard. Dizzard, the JV coach for Lynnwood over the last 3 years. Last year under Adam Villalobos. Not sure if he got the answer he wanted, but at any rate, he jogs back to the dugout. It's not going to matter, right? They're not changing the call.
Nothing's going to change on that one.
So 2 outs there. Raiden Silva making life a lot easier for himself and did a favor for his buddy Ben Rainin, as Rainin is now off the hook for any more runs this inning, and that was his last base runner. And Foster back into the batter's box, ready to go. And Silva's first batter is on base as Foster floats that one just over the head of Hussey into right field. Shavenko comes over to cut it off. And Foster, for the second time today, has a single.
Nicely placed.
So runner on first base. Lawton Manapon stepping to the plate. Manapon 2 for 2 today so far.
He played football too, didn't he?
He did play football. Got a few of those here on the Lynnwood roster. Pickoff move over to first. Takaya very wisely throws that one over, and diving back to the base is Foster. Throws that one back over again, and diving back in once again is Foster. If memory serves me correctly, I seem to recall when we were doing play-by-play for the football games, Manapun had a long touchdown, if I recall, that got called back. It was a nice play. He was playing a little receiver, and
I believe so.
Unfortunately, it didn't stand, but great football season for both of these schools, really, compared to what they've both been accustomed to having over the last few years. Mountlake Terrace winning their first playoff game in school history this year, and Lynnwood, a vastly improved team also under Keontae Bankhead. They had a 5-win season and really showed themselves very well all year long in the fall.
It was good to see them step up to get 5 wins for football.
Manapun hits that one just where nobody can reach it. Coming up with it is Maxfield. He throws it back in. Nice ball by Manapun, just putting that one just perfectly placed where Sears, Lorraine, and Maxfield just couldn't quite come up with it. All three converging on it, but not before it lands on the turf. So he will end up on first base. On the play, Foster heading over to second. And stepping back up to the plate, Kyler McMahon.
A little low.
Man getting on a fielder's choice in the first inning, and then he flew out to left field in the third. Strike called. 1-1 is the count. McMahon batting in that 4 spot. Raiden Silva just came on in relief of Ben Rainin just a few moments ago. Silva so far this year has pitched 2 1/3 innings, has given up 1 earned run, walked 3 and struck 1 out. Now ball gets away, everybody advancing 90 feet as Foster heads over to third. Manapun winding up at second base. So a game that was full of defense early on in the early stages. Suddenly we're having trouble getting out of innings here as Lynnwood scoring 1 in the top of the third. Terrace coming back with 2 in their half. Now Lynnwood with 2 more. Strike 3, however, it got away from Takaya. He throws it over to first base. McMahon is retired, and we've come to the end of the inning, but not before Lynnwood puts up 2 more. They take the lead. They lead 3-2. We head to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with our special guest, Keith Lampers, who's with us today. We're used to having a Keith up here, but it's normally Neely, so now we've got Keith Lampers joining us as well. Oh, you're going to, okay, we're going to get names here of our staff today, too. So very good, Angelo Como. He's all over it. Our first baseball game of 2015. It is a good one so far, a conference game at that. Lynnwood versus Mountlake Terrace. That ball's a bit low as Jesse Prothero batting for the second time today. He singled back in the second inning. And make that 2 for 2 for Jesse. Lines that one into left field. Base hit. And he represents the tying run for the Hawks. And stepping up to the plate, number 26, Jared Maxfield. Prothero, who came into this ball game, only 2 at-bats on the season. He was 0 for 2, so to come out here and get 2 singles here early on, it's not a bad way for him to get off the schneid, so to speak, and get his season rolling. Ball's hit high up into the air, down the left field line and foul. Anybody who's watching who may or may not have a car down there, your car is safe. It didn't go that far back. Always fun to watch when those balls fly over that the left field foul fence over there. I, for one, am watching as my car's over there.
Wow.
Strike 3 called.
That ump likes that spot today.
Maxfield goes down, and Foster getting his 3rd strikeout of the day here so far. Well, now we'll face one of his other 2 strikeout victims, Nolan Takaya. Fanned in the second inning. Taking off and running on the play and going to make it by a mile there. That is Jesse Prothero with a steal. Ball looked like it might have slipped out of Gergis's hand. Easy stolen base for Prothero as he now puts himself in scoring position. If Takaya can punch one through, we could have a tie ball game. Ooh, lines that one right down the first baseline.
That gets Kyle McGuire off his toes there.
Kyle McGuire, one of the coaches for the Hawks.
Keep
Had
him moving there.
Duck very quickly on that play. Almost took part of his beard off there. Throw back to second base and Prothero diving back in. Baseball is a sport where if you are out on the field anywhere, you need to be watching at all times. Kind of like it up here in the booth where we are. As that ball is just trickled right back to the pitcher. Foster throws Takaya out easily, and on the play, Prothero taking off towards third base and makes it.
Well, at least Takaya got a hit on it this time.
Any sacrifice, he'll take that.
Yeah, moved him around, tying a run on third.
So 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Lynnwood 3, Hawks 2.
Who we got up now? Zane Phillips?
Zane Phillips up to the plate. Singled back in the 3rd inning. Phillips.
That might be hitting.
Might be a little tough, and it goes off of the glove of Horner. And coming in to score is Jesse Prothero. We have a 3-3 ball game, and not sure if Horner lost that one or if he was just having trouble getting to it. It was placed in a tight spot there. It was going to be tough for him to get to begin with. I thought as the ball started to come down that Horner was going to have a little bit of an easier play than he did. And might have even lost that one up in the sun a little bit. At any rate, we are now tied up 3-3 here in the 4th.
It's Hussey up with 1 strike on him now.
Yeah, Alex Hussey, second baseman. Ball 1-1-1. I was generous. I gave Phillips a RBI single on that play.
Oh, did you?
It was a tough ball. Looking out for Carson Horner there a little bit. I'm not the official scorekeeper, so it's all good, right? I don't think it's going to matter one way or the other, but
sounds better that way.
Only person that might disagree is Bryce Foster. He may not want that going on his ERA, but bottom line, the run counts, and that's all these guys really care about is swinging and missing is Alex Hussey. It's going to bring the count to 2-2. 3-3 tie here in the 4th inning. Ball bounces in, and Hussey's going to take his spot down on first base. I thought we had a 2-2 count. It was, in fact, 3-2. And Hussey walking down to first base. Phillips trotting down to second. It's going to bring up number 14, Adam Lorraine. Lorraine hitting into a fielder's choice in his first at bat. Inside, did it hit him? They're going to say it did in fact hit Adam Lorraine. He heads down towards first base. Bases are loaded, and once again, Jaden Ackley coming to the plate.
Coach is going to the hill to talk to Bryce.
Yeah, Ackley in his last at bat had a 2 RBI double. He's got a chance to do more damage here with 3 runners on. So Phillips on third, Hussey on second, Lorraine on first. Jaden Yackley stepping in one more time to face Bryce Foster. Yackley on the season coming into this game did not have a base hit. He was 0 for 7 through his first 3 games. He's now 1 for 9 on the year, but that one hit was a big one.
That was a big one. This is a big at bat.
Started to swing on that one and pulled up. 1-1 is the count. Bryce Foster, starting pitcher, still going here for Lynnwood. Outside corner, strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Umpire's been giving that outside corner to everybody today so far. Yackley hits that one into center field. Both players heading over to it and making the catch at the last second is Hacker. As Graham was fading over to right field, Hacker was going over to center. Wasn't sure who was going to take it, and finally Hacker makes the catch. The Hawks do get 1 run, but they leave the bases juiced. We're through 4 innings of play. It's tied up 3-3. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901. Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
You're number one.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Keith Lampers on the call. Bottom of the fifth inning. Hawks and Royals tied up at 3-3. Trying to make a diving catch as Hackery misses it. Sears is already on second base, and he's going to dig for three. He's got it easily into third base is Drew Sears. You want to call that a triple or a double? Hacker made a dive at it. I think you got to give him a triple on that one, don't you?
Might as well, yeah.
So Drew Sears leading off the bottom of the fifth inning, and he represents the go-ahead run there for the Hawks. Gets himself over to third base. Bryce Foster trying to work himself out of another jam. Trickler by Shavenko. Foster guns it over to first, and Jason is out. Not really the play he wanted with a runner on third and nobody out.
No, need a little more patience on that one.
It's going to bring up Jesse Prothero. Prothero 2 for 2 here so far today. Stole second back in the fourth inning and eventually came around to score. This time he hits it right towards third base. Looking him back is Cooper. Cooper throws it over to Manapun, and we've got two very quick outs. Doing a little bit of looking in my book here. I don't think we've called David Cooper's name on a fielding play yet today. First time that a Hawk has hit it over to him. Cooper guns Prothero out, and that's going to bring up Jared Maxfield. Maxfield 0 for 2 today. He hit into a double play in the second inning and then struck out in the fourth. Hoping to change his luck right now.
Ump didn't like something there with the ball. Went out there and swapped the balls with Foster on that one.
Clean off the plate while he's at it, too. Maybe he's just looking for a little excuse for a break here momentarily. That top of the fifth inning was so quick. He needs something, right?
Slow the pace down a little bit.
Quite frankly, after the triple by Sears, this inning's going pretty quick as well. Two very quick outs for the Hawks. Ball one on the play. Here comes the second pitch. Catches the corner, 1-1.
That's a tough one to protect. Wow, it's a tough. Especially the style Bryce Foster pitches.
Maxfield hits that one right at third. Cooper fields it, but can't come up with it. And coming in to score is Drew Sears. Maxfield with the single, giving the Hawks the 4-3 lead. Hits it sharply over to Cooper. Cooper trying to make a quick play, knowing he had to have the out, and in the process dropped the ball and just couldn't throw it over there in time. We've got another Hawks lead here, 4-3 in the bottom of the fifth. And Nolan Takaya up for the third time. Takaya striking out in the second inning and getting into a 1-3 sacrifice in the fourth. And quickly he has a 1-1 count on him. Fouls that one right off the net along the third baseline. It's going to bring up a 1-2 count. Maxfield with a lead over on first. Foster ignores him, comes to the plate. Outside, ball 2, 2-2. Hawks scoring a run for the third consecutive inning. 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and now 1 in the fifth. Full count right now.
No one's picking up on this from the last couple innings. There you go, there you go.
Lines it right off of Foster's glove. It ends up over at shortstop. McMahon is not able to come up with it. Everybody is safe as Maxfield ends up at second. And Nolan Takayo with an infield single ends up on first. It's going to bring up Zane Phillips. Phillips 2 for 2 on the afternoon.
Pinch runner for Takaya. Oh, that's Jake.
You might know a thing or two about the kid over on first base, huh?
Yeah, a little
Just
bit.
Your son, Jake Lampers, coming into the game for the first time today.
High and outside.
Ball 1 to Zane Phillips. Outside, ball 2. Gotta wonder at this point if Bryce Foster's day is not about to come to an end here.
That's the only downfall about Terrace here. You can't see the warm-up pins out there to see if they're warming anybody up or not.
I see a little bit of movement out there. I can't really tell who it is or what's going on, but or if anybody's even throwing for that matter. I can just tell that somebody's down that line there. And ball 4, 4 straight pitches. It's going to put Phillips on base. Bases are juiced right now for the Hawks. Second time in as many innings. 2 outs, and as soon as we say that, looks as though we may, in fact, have a change here right now as Fraser Dizzard out talking to the mound, and that is, in fact, going to be the case. I take that back. He's not taking the ball from Foster yet. It looks as though he might stay in here.
I know.
You're off now. Still have not signaled for a change of pitcher yet. However, Dizzard is talking to the home plate umpire, so I've got to think somebody's coming into pitch right now. Just buying a little more time before the reliever makes his way over. And having said that, we'll take a quick 30-second break. 4-3, Mountlake Terrace. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. Kyler McMahon, who had been playing shortstop up until this point, is in fact the new pitcher for the Lynnwood Royals. McMahon only a sophomore as we go to pull up his stats on the year to see if this is in fact his first time pitching this season. And apparently it is. He has not pitched yet through the first 3 games of the year.
Well, with the new schedule the way it is now, it's a lot more coaching. It's your same opponent 3 days in a row for the week.
And really, not too many appearances from Lynnwood as a whole. They've only played 3 games. 2 of those games they won in 5 innings.
Oh, wow.
With the 10-run rule. And matter of fact, I asked Coach Dizzard before the game, was that a good thing for you guys, or would you have rather had those 2 extra innings just to work some of the arms in? And he said, you know what, at this point, no, I'd rather just – I told them to go out and get the win, and let's get out of here with the 10-run rule, and that's what they did. So, yeah, I mean, we had Foster pitched a complete game his last outing, which, again, was a 5-inning complete game.
Yeah, but they've only used 5 pitchers for the season so far?
Yeah, and a few of them haven't pitched that much. One of them was Shaw, who only pitched 1 inning. Cooper pitched 2 1/3. But other than that, they've had Wiley pitched 4 2/3, and again, shortened games. And then Whitman had a 4-inning appearance, and that's it. So they're working in some new arms right now. So Kyler McMahon getting his first action. So we try to pull up last year's stats here as well. We got a whole notebook here. McMahon last season had 7 appearances, had a 9.48 ERA, pitched 10 1/3, gave up 14 earned runs, so not a great pitching year for him. Only his freshman year, I should point out. So the fact that he's playing varsity at all last year, not too shabby.
Hussey fouled away left field. 0-2 count.
So 0-2 count to Alex Hussey. 4-3, Mountlake Terrace. They've got the bases loaded. 2 outs here in the 5th as they look for more. Swinging and missing is Hussey, and doing an excellent job of coming in relief is McMahon. Strikes out his only batter. And for the second straight inning, the Hawks leaving 3 men on base. However, for the second straight inning, they score 1 run. They now lead 4-3 going into the 6th. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Keith Lampers. Joined up in the booth here by Angelo Camo, as well as our SLSN crew today, Raven Blackburn, who's running the computer, and Evan Parton, who's on our first base camera, or was. They did switch as I look to my left. Almost making the catch there. That's a live ball.
Foul ball.
Oh, foul ball, rather. Okay, so Prothro trying to make the catch on his knees, dropped it. I was watching Lucas Youngman run it out, and I thought for a moment there that the umpire was going to say it was fair, but it was in fact foul. Youngman, who struck out back in the 2nd inning, had a sacrifice in the 4th. Raiden Silva, pitcher of record right now, still in the ball game. Swinging and missing is Youngman. Ball was in the dirt. Takaya throws it over to Prothro, who steps on the plate. 1 out. That will bring up Chase Hacker. Hacker, who is 1 for 2 on the day. Playing right field and batting in that number 9 spot. Hacker showing bunt, pulling back. Ball was inside, maybe even a bit high. Ball 1.
Definitely a little bit of attention getter on that one.
Should be a fun series the rest of the way here. 2 more of these games coming up over the next couple of days.
Yeah, it should definitely see where everybody's going with their pitching.
I asked Dizzard before the game if this was his rotation or if he was. Well, I was mainly asking about Foster. I asked him if he was his Tuesday pitcher this year, and he said he's still trying to figure some things out. He being the manager, not Foster, just trying to kind of play with his lineup a little bit with some of the injuries they've had. And I would imagine the way that Waters manages. Rainin might be his Tuesday pitcher all year. Most of these games are 3-game series that go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Woke us up a little bit there. Second time today, it's had a foul ball that went over the netting, cleared it, and then landed right up on top of us here
2-2 count.
in the press box, and it truly is a box. Wooden shed in the dirt. 3-2 to Hacker.
I have to say, after doing this for third year now, this is the first game I've actually seen him go all the way up and over.
Yeah, usually that netting right above the hitter collects almost everything.
Oh.
Ball 4. Hacker's going to trot on down to first base. He represents the tying run, and the guy who represents the go-ahead run stepping to the plate, it's the second baseman, Carson Horner. Horner flew out in the first, singled in the third, and singled in the fourth. Fortunately for him, he was picked off in the fourth as well, and this time dribbles one right past Drew Sears off to his right between shortstop and third.
Between Yackley and Sears there, right in the hole there.
Good placement on that ball by Horner.
Yeah. Silva's going to have to figure this one out, what he's going to do here with Foster. Foster's a tough batter to go up against.
So the question becomes, is Silva going to be the one to try to figure it out? As
Yeah.
Drew Waters heads over to the mound as we both try to look down the line to see if anybody's warming up. And again, we're a little bit blocked here. It's hard to see.
Coach is down there talking to somebody in the pen.
I thought I saw movement on a ball there just a second ago, so I believe somebody might be throwing down there. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready to go at this point, or that Coach Waters even wants to make the change, for that matter.
A little bit of refocusing here.
You're looking at the number 2 spot in the lineup coming up. So you've got Foster, Manapon, and McMahon. Your 2, 3, and 4 hitters. All looking forward to coming up this inning. They are, in fact, going to keep Silva in. So with runners on first and second in a 1-run game, and only 1 out, it will be Bryce Foster versus Raiden Silva. Silva stepping off the rubber, looking back towards second base, making sure Hacker doesn't take too big of a lead. And trickling that ball foul down the third baseline. Off the bat of Bryce Foster. 0-1 is the count.
Well, you probably go back to that pitch again. Foster's definitely looking for something down the center.
Silva looking back at second. Looks in towards the plate. Here comes the pitch. Foster lining that one down the first baseline. This one's going to be trouble. Landing inside the line. And everybody advancing 90 feet. If you're a Mountlake Terrace Hawks fan, you're feeling fortunate, as everybody had to hold up to make sure that wasn't caught. If you're a Lynnwood fan, you're excited because Bryce Foster just loaded the bases up. Very nice hit, as that one was
that was
about 2 or 3 yards inside the line there, but just in a position to where Prothero couldn't get down the line quick enough and Shavenko couldn't get over to get it. And coming up to the plate, Lawton Manapon. He is 3 for 3 already today. So from a Lynnwood perspective, you're feeling pretty good here. Down by 1 out. But you've got the bases juiced here in the top of the 6th inning. Manapon lines that one down the first base line, just foul.
Shavenko should fade that way a little bit, probably.
I think he's thinking about it a little bit right now.
I might want to call that place home. 0-2 count on him now.
Well, if that ball is over to the left about, I don't know, it was might have been 5 or 6 yards foul, but if he gets that one inside the line there, that might have been a 3-run triple. At the very least, a 3-run double. Manapon pops that one up into the air. Second baseman Hussey calling for it. Makes the easy catch.
2 down.
And a huge second out at that. So Kyler McMahon, who is now the pitcher of record, or he could be the pitcher of record if he's able to get a lead here for Lynnwood. So he came in and faced his one and only batter at the end of the 5th inning. Now looking to either tie this game up or give his team a lead here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. In the dirt, gets away from Takaya, and coming in to score for the Lynnwood Royals, that is Chase Hacker. And on a wild pitch, we have a 4-4 ball game now in the top of the 6th inning.
That's the second time Terrace has given him a point today. Terrace has given him 2 of them today. One on a missed ball and one on a balk.
Yeah, that is not the way you want to let runs come across the plate.
No.
This ball is hit over to Sears. Sears fields it cleanly, throws to Prothero, and they get the out on McMahon, but not before Lynnwood gets the tying run. We're through 5.5 of play here at Mountlake Terrace High School, heading to the bottom of the 6th, 4-4. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. 4-4 ball game here between the Mountlake Terrace Hawks and the Lynnwood Royals. Steve Willits along with Keith Lampers. And 1.5 innings of regulation left. The way this game's going, Keith, that may not be enough today. We'll see what happens here as Adam Lorraine stepping to the plate. First 2 pitches are both balls.
Both high and outside.
Lorraine hitting into a fielder's choice in the 3rd. Was hit by a pitch in the 4th. 3-0 count.
Adam definitely has a good eye for the ball.
Can do it one more time. Ball 4. Sophomore versus sophomore, and both wearing the jersey number 14. Advantage to Adam Lorraine that time around as he heads on over to first base. As we mentioned, McMahon coming on for the first time today on the pitching mound anyway. He was playing shortstop earlier in the game. Was able to strike out Alex Hussey to end the 5th inning. Now he's walked a batter. So we've yet to see one of his balls put in play. Let's see if Jaden Yackley can change that right now as he stands in. Strike called, outside corner, 0-1.
How many kids are on the roster for Lynnwood? I never really looked today.
Well, let's take a look here and see what we have. According to our friends over at Max Preps. I have a count of 15 for the Lynnwood Royals.
Oh, wow. That's all, huh?
9 of which are seniors, so a very senior-heavy team. As Yackley hits that one into the outfield. And floating over to grab it and making the catch is Bobby Graham. 1 away. That will bring up Drew Sears. So Yackley is now flown out to center twice, and he's flown out to right once to go along with his 2-run double earlier in the day.
Yeah, that 2-run double was nice.
Sears now coming to the plate. He is flown out. He's grounded out to the pitcher. And he hit a triple in his last at-bat. Eventually came around to score on. Drew coming into this game batting 6 for 10 on the year. Doing a little quick math, he's now 7 for 13 through today. Trying to keep that batting average up above 500 if he can get a base hit right here. 0-1 is the count. Adam Lorraine drawing a little bit of attention right now from McMahon.
Definitely they got a decent lead off of there.
And Sears fouling that one off of the catcher, Gerges. Gerges having to shake that one off a bit. 0-2 is the count. So the only change to the Lynnwood lineup really so far is McMahon and Foster changing places. Foster now over at the shortstop position where McMahon was earlier. Everybody else remains the same. Manapun at first, Horner at second. And there's the ball over to Manapun. Throws it over to Foster, who is fielding second base. Gets the force out there. So Lorraine is put away. Sears on the fielder's choice ends up on first base. It's going to bring up Jason Shavanko. Shavanko pops that one up towards second base. Horner fades back into right field, makes the grab, and we've come to the end of the 6th inning. We're all tied up heading to the 7th, 4-4. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And we are back again through 6 innings, all knotted up 4-4 as we head to the 7th and potentially final inning of play here. Steve Willits along with Keith Lampers from Mountlake Terrace High School. Jared Whitman up for his 4th time today as he swings and misses at a pitch from Raiden Silva. 1-1 is the count. Whitman, the left fielder who had an outstanding catch in that first inning, has struck out, has been hit by a pitch, and has
hit by 2 pitches.
Hit by 2 pitches today now. He's been hit by 2 pitches now. He's struck out, and he's also flied out to left field. And he gets to first base. And Brady Gerges, the catcher, coming up for the 4th time today. 1 for 3 as he had a single back in the 2nd inning. Gerges, the junior, takes that pitch, strike, throw over to first base. Getting back safely is Whitman.
Showing bunt.
Definitely ready to play some small ball here if you can get that lead.
Change the call.
Try to force Mountlake Terrace into having to do something in the bottom of the 7th inning. Gerges misses that one, also a bunt. Another throw down to first. 0-2 count. I don't think we'll see a bunt here.
No, swing away.
Gerges awaiting the Silva pitch.
Raid's definitely keeping him honest over there at first. It's the third time he's thrown down over there.
We mentioned earlier, this is a Lynnwood team that stole 15 bases in their first 3 games this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
That one's hit right to second base. Nice little bounce there. Hussey flips it over to Sears. Over to Mata, over to Prothero. Double play. My goodness. The way Hussey flipped that ball, I didn't know if it had enough velocity to get to Sears in time to where he could make that throw. Sears with a gun over to Prothero. 4-6-3. 2 down, and that's going to bring up number 24, Bobby Graham. That might have been the play of the game right there.
That was definitely it.
Give Hussey a lot of credit there, too, as that was kind of a funky bounce. And keep in mind, we're playing on turf, not dirt.
He had a little hesitation on that toss, too, on where to go on that one. So
Yeah, I noticed that as well, and I think that's why he didn't get much oomph on that ball. I think he was trying to figure out where he wanted to go with it, and at the last second he just flipped it over to Sears at second base. Well executed double play there for the Hawks.
Prothero was well stretched out to pick that one up, too.
Yeah, we give him a lot of credit on that play. That is not an easy. I could never play first base.
No.
I can't touch my toes, so do what you will with that.
There we go.
Strike one. 2-1 is the count. I'm always amazed by those first basemen, the way they can stretch the leg and optimize how quickly they can catch that ball to get the runner out, and that's exactly what Prothero did. Fouled off down the third baseline, 2-2. Mentioned Graham scoring in the 4th inning on a balk. If the Hawks can get out of this inning, they're looking at Prothero, Maxfield, and Takaya coming up in the bottom half of the inning. Graham hits a little trickler over to first base. Prothero flips to Silva, who's covering the base. And Graham is out as he tries to slide into first, but to no avail. 3 up, 3 down, thanks to a gorgeous double play by the Hawks. We're heading to the bottom half of the 7th inning, all tied up at 4th. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back on the Sound Alive Sports Network. 4-4 tie heading to the bottom of the 7th. 1 run would win it for Mountlake Terrace here. They're looking at potentially having Prothero, Maxfield, and Takaya come to the plate. And Keith, you were just pointing out that Drew Waters, the manager for the Hawks, was talking to the umpire. Apparently,
he had his paperwork out, so I wouldn't be surprised you start seeing some batters moving around here.
We know one batter it won't be is Prothero, as he's in the batter's box, and he gets hit right off the bat. He represents the winning run.
That's the go-ahead run right there.
I don't think you mind getting hit in the back when you are the winning, not even only the go-ahead run, it's the winning run as we're in the bottom of the 7th. Prothero 270 feet away from winning this ballgame for the Hawks. And Jared Maxfield also in, and I see Takaya standing in the batter's box, so perhaps. Oh, and here we go.
Yep. Michael Hunt.
Michael Hunt coming to the plate. Good to see Michael out there, by the way, after just a
definitely
awful leg break during the football season this year.
9 months ago, 9.5 months ago.
Not even that.
Wasn't it?
September.
Oh, you're right, September.
6.5 months ago, and broken in a couple of different places, had to be taken off of the field in a ambulance Spent, 4 nights in the hospital, and now he's back out here playing baseball.
Wow.
Good for him. This would be a huge moment for Michael Hunt if he could drive this one into the gap somewhere and potentially win this game for the Hawks.
The kid is definitely a strong hitter, strong ball player. But to be that young again, recover that fast. Wow.
Yeah, Hunt had a nice season last year for the Hawks, and certainly after breaking that leg, and it was the season opener against Mariner High School, so early September. I think at that point in time, I think we were
third quarter too, wasn't it?
Third quarter of the game, a game that the Hawks won 14-13, and Hunt
lays down the bunt.
And they're going to go to second base on that one, and coming up with that ball, I couldn't tell who caught it at first. That was Foster coming over from short. And on the play, Prothero is retired.
Yeah, bunt didn't go the way they wanted it to.
Are we going to see Hunt run over in second base, or are they going to bring a runner in for him?
They'll bring a runner in for him. He's been hitting a couple times this season already, but they've always brought in a runner for him. Looks like it's Keegan Otter.
Keegan Otter getting his first action of the day.
Yeah. No, Michael's still on the recovery part, from what I understand. Still worried about the slide.
The fact that he's out here and playing, after seeing what happened that night, I wasn't too sure that 6 months later we would see him playing baseball. I knew he would do everything in his power to get back, but certainly there's only so much you can do. So for him to even be out there and batting in the 7th inning,
yeah,
great to see it, really.
And baseball is a sport. He just decided to play football this year. He's played football off and on as a kid all the way up, but baseball's always been a sport that he's thrived at.
He was watching those first 3 quarters of play this year. I was not at the game. I was broadcasting. In fact, I was broadcasting Lynnwood's game that night against Stanwood. To watch the video of it afterwards, he was having himself a heck of a game from the linebacker position up until the break.
Oh yeah. Oh, he definitely was stellar at his position. He definitely would have grown farther as the season went on. DK pops it up third base side.
And making the easy catch is Cooper over there on third. Brings up two outs. It's going to bring up Zane Phillips, who's going to try to prevent this game from going into extra innings. Surprised at all that Takea hit in that situation, or?
Kind of, as catcher. There's that outside spot again.
Strike one. Phillips 2 for 2 today, along with a walk, so he's been on all 3 times. All this thrown back over to first, where Otter dives back to the plate. McMahon winds and is ready to go. Strike 2, another outside corner pitch.
Kind of a slow call on that one.
Mentioned it before, the umpire giving that call all day long so far. He's been very consistent with it for both teams. Otter diving back into the base. Some of the Lynnwood fans to our left here wanted the out, but that was not the case. McMahon ready to go. High this time, ball 1, 1-2. Alex Hussey in the batter's box, ready to go. If Phillips can keep this inning alive, fouls that one off. We're going to stay at 1-2. Looking at the Lynnwood lineup coming up, they will be looking at the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up if there is an 8th inning. It would be Youngman, Hacker, and Horner. Swinging and missing is Zane Phillips. He strikes out. And we are going to extra innings here. 7 just isn't enough today. We head to the 8th, 4-4 tie. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. We head for extra innings, the 8th inning coming up here, and Raiden Silva, who came in relief back in the 4th inning, is still on the mound for the Mountlake Terrace Hawks, getting a little extended play here today. And he's going to face Lucas Youngman right off the bat.
What are we, 8-9-1 for Lynnwood now?
8-9-1. Youngman batting in that DH spot today. Has struck out twice, as well as a sacrifice in the 4th inning. Fouls that one off. 0-1 is the count.
Definitely a stronger Lynnwood team in baseball this year.
Not a bad Lynnwood team last year. They finished the regular season 13-6.
Oh, definitely not bad then at all.
No, not one bit. So these were two teams that both had some success last year at times. Ball is fouled off. Of course, Mountlake Terrace losing the district championship game against Glacier Peak.
Yeah.
Before going and losing in the first round at state. Lynnwood getting knocked out in district play last year as a 4A team. Now dropping down to 3A this year. Inside corner.
Nice pitch.
And then down goes Youngman. 3rd strikeout of the day for him. It's going to bring up Chase Hacker. So Silva striking out Youngman for the 2nd time today. We mentioned Youngman has struck out 3 times, but the first one was to Rainin. Ball's outside. Ball 1-0. Hacker striking out in the 2nd. Had a single in the 4th and walked in the 6th. 2-0 count.
Raiden's definitely moving it around a little bit.
Raiden came in with 1 out in the 4th inning.
There it is.
So far he's pitched 4 innings, given up 1 run so far, only the run in the 6th inning. Hacker showing bunt, pulled back. Ball 3-1 is the count. Wind picking up here just a little bit, not too badly, but
it can definitely get cold out there in the field.
Not a warm day to begin with. Highs were only in the low 50s today. Certainly as we look at 6 o'clock approaching right now, it's only going to get colder. Hacker fouls that one off. Full count. Lights are now on in the outfield. Certainly not needed yet, but there and ready to go if we do get to that point. Silva with the pitch. Hacker puts it in play, hits it over to 3rd base. Yackley bouncing it over to Prothro, and he makes the play. Nice job by Yackley. Nice job by Prothro. Umpire wanted to make sure that Prothro had that one before he made the call. Jesse turns around, shows him the ball. 2 away, and that's going to bring up Carson Horner. Horner so far today, 3 for 4.
Got him on that outside. Got him to chase it.
Strike 1 called. Horner popped out in the 1st inning, and since then has had base hits on all 3 of his at-bats. Fouls that one off. It's a .347 hitter last year for the Lynnwood Royals.
He's got a 2 count on him now already. 2 outs, 2 count.
If you're Raiden Silva, you got to be feeling pretty good about that. Ball is popped up into the air. Otter calls for it over in left field, makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for the Royals. The Hawks with a chance to win it. They will be sending up Hussey, Lorraine, and Yackley. We'll take a break. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901.
And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. The Hawks and the Royals tied up 4-4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. One run would do it for the Hawks. So we are in the bottom half of the 8th. Hussey takes the first pitch, ball 1. Fouls that second one off over the third baseline fence and onto the hill. 1-1 is the count. Starting to see some shadows out here on the field, Keith.
Get out, ball. There we go.
Hits that one over to second base. Horner fields it cleanly, throws it to Manapon. One away, and that will bring up Adam Lorraine. Lorraine, a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning, was hit by a pitch in the 4th, and then walked in the 6th. Ball is inside, ball 1, 1-0. Jaden Yackley in the on-deck circle. Ball's hit sharply to short. Foster guns that one over. 2 quick outs here, and that will bring up Yackley. Drew Sears now on deck. First extra inning ball game for either of these two teams this year. Yackley hits that one over to Cooper. Cooper throws it across the diamond. In time, 1-2-3 inning. 8 isn't enough. We head to the 9th. 4-4 tie. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. Royals 4, Hawks 4. We are into the 9th inning of play of what is normally a 7-inning ball game. The first of 3 games between these two teams. And, Keith, we're starting to see it right now. Both of these teams on their second pitcher. Both second pitchers getting up there in the pitch count. But I would think that knowing that you've got 2 more games over the next 3 days, you might try to let these guys go a little bit further.
I could say definitely with Lynnwood. Terrace is pulling 21 kids on varsity this season.
So they've got some extra arms there if they need them.
Some extra arms, but I'm not sure, if either coach is willing to go that way.
Quite frankly, Silva not showing any wear and tear yet. You might as well keep him in there until he gets into a bind. As Foster hits that one sharply over to third. Yackley fields it, throws it to Prothro, 1 away. These innings seem to be going quicker and quicker, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Wow, the pitchers, the batters, both sides need to take a little more time at this. I'm not sure if they all got hard dates tonight or what to get out of here. Wow,
I wonder if they know that these lights actually work if they need them to. Not that I'm complaining. I don't want to be here all night either. But
oh, no.
Certainly that 8th inning was rapid, and now the first batter, Foster, what was that? 1 pitch in, he grounds out.
Grounds out to third, yeah.
I think Manapon must have heard us here as he takes the first pitch for a strike. Swinging and missing at strike 2. Silva, who is now 5 innings into this game as he came in with 1 out in the 3rd. Looking for his 3rd strikeout. Fouled off. Silva, the senior, looking in. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Manapun goes down swinging. 2 quick outs once again.
Yeah, this Terrace team next year, I mean, the Terrace team's heavily laden. They have 12 seniors on this team this year.
For Mountlake Terrace?
For Terrace, yeah. And Lynnwood's heavily laden in seniors, too, from what I heard.
Yeah, 9 for Lynnwood and 12 for Mountlake Terrace. So certainly 2 teams that are looking to get it done this year. And as we mentioned earlier, this game counts in the standings now. It did not last year, as Lynnwood was a 4A team. Mountlake Terrace was 3A.
Well, the whole numbers changed this past year. Everybody going to 3A, so that's Lynnwood, Edmonds, Woodway. They all came down.
And Arlington, yeah.
And Arlington.
So you've got 13 teams playing in Wesco. Granted, one of them is Shorecrest. They go off and play 2A when it comes to the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
And then we get Ferndale down here in District 1 playoffs. So 13 teams, 8 of which will make the playoffs. That's the good news. Bad news is that it tends to be a very tough conference for baseball, and every game might matter. Ball's hit over to Sears. Sears fields it, guns it over to Prothero, pulls him off the plate, and safe at first base is Kyler McMahon. It's going to be a tough play to make. We'll give him the single on that play, as Sears was going to have to make an awfully nice throw to get him out.
Yeah, it was a pretty slow ball coming at him, so time-wise it was a tough one to make.
It's going to bring up Jared Whitman. No, actually, yeah, that's Jared Whitman. Whitman bunts it into the air. Takea makes the catch. Easy out, and we are through 8.5 innings of play. Heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. Sears, Shavenko, Prothero coming up. 4-4 tie. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And welcome back to Mountlake Terrace High School. Steve Willits along with Keith Lampers. Raven Blackburn working the computer. Who are you working the computer with here, by the way?
This is my friend Shelby.
Shelby's helping out up here in the booth as well. Evan Partin working the camera down the first baseline. Along with Angelo Camo, Mountlake Terrace High School advisor, producer extraordinaire, and any other title he wants. He wants me to stick with just advisor. Hey, he's what makes this happen, so we appreciate that. And I'm sure anybody who's watching this game appreciates it as well, as we've got a great game going on. Bottom of the 9th inning, Drew Sears leads it off, hits it right over to shortstop, bounces off of the leg of Foster. And Sears thought about going down towards second base and pulled up.
Could have had that one.
Yeah, that's a tough play. I mean, easier said than done, I guess, when you're up here in the booth where we can see the ball still trickling down the third baseline.
Going away from Bryce, yeah. Definitely a tough call on Drew Sears' part. But
we'll see if that comes back to haunt him here, as he is on base with another base hit. It's his 8th base hit of the year already, and he's going to try to steal second. Takes off running, slides. He's out. Brady Gerges guns him down. Boy, now that play really costly. The play right before that where he decided not to go for second base. It's one away, and now Shavenko, rather than having 1 on and no outs, reverses it, no on and 1 out. And Jason certainly not having the year at the plate that he'd like to have so far. Again, we mentioned it earlier that at some point he's going to get it going here. He's just too good of a player. 3 for 13 on the year through 4 games, and boy, had that one up right around the noggin there, as he had to
You turn away from that
Turn
one.
away from that one. Wisely so, as
Well, as DeMiro was saying before he left, Shevchenko comes on strong at the end, a little slow in the beginning. So
drills that one into center field, and fading right back and waiting for it is Bobby Graham. Makes the catch. And Jason's struggles continue.
Bobby Graham didn't have to move much for that one at all. Kind of came right to him.
It's going to bring up Jesse Prothro. Prothro 2 for 3 so far today. 2 singles. He's also been hit by a pitch.
Up the middle. Here we go again.
Perfectly up the middle as gets by a diving Foster. Prothro keeping the 9th inning alive here with a single. And Jared Maxfield.
Back in for Otter.
It's always hard to keep up with these the high school substitutions here. As he did not bat last time around as Michael Hunt had batted for him, but then he comes in for Otter and is able to stay in the game. Maxfield already with a single today. He's also grounded out into a double play. Grounded out to first base earlier and also struck out.
Well, we got 2 outs, so he's been definitely a stronger bat.
Diving back into the base over on first is Prothro. Maxfield waiting for the first pitch. McMahon winds and throws. Fouls that one off. Inside on the hands there. Strike 1, 0-1. Man thought about coming to the plate and thought twice about it. Throws it back over to first where Prothro has to dive back into first base one more time. On a quick throw there. This time it gets away from the first baseman. Prothro taking off for second. Easily makes it. I'm wondering if McMahon would like to
Think twice
try
about
that one again.
Yeah.
The plan was to try to get Prothro sleeping there. As soon as Manapun threw the ball back over to McMahon, he didn't waste any time. He threw it right back to Manapun and
A little off on that one.
got a little too cute, threw it right by him. Maxfield lines
There
that
it
one
is.
into center field. Let's see if he tries to score. Coming to the plate for the game winner is Prothro. Hawks win 5-4. Jared Maxfield with your walk-off single.
Definitely a game, boys. 5-4, 9 innings.
Hawks improved their overall record to 3-1 on the year, 2-0 in conference play. Lynnwood falls to 2-2 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Your winning pitcher, Raiden Silva, going an extended distance today. Getting the loss is Kyler McMahon. Both pitchers coming in relief, though, and both pitchers pitching very well.
Very well. Well, they only burned through between 2 teams, only 4 pitchers.
Yeah, not bad for a 9-inning game.
Not for a 9-inning game in high school.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have our player of the game interview. Once again, your final score after 9 innings, Mountlake Terrace 5, Lynnwood 4. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901. Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
Stint in relief, and Raiden, you and I were just talking about it. Certainly knowing that you were the first pitcher to come in relief today, knowing that Ben is usually pretty solid, did you expect to pitch this much?
No, I was expecting maybe two innings max probably from that.
And you pitched, I think, 9 innings total last year on varsity, so really pitching more than 5 today. I think it was 5 2/3 officially. Had to be kind of exciting for you to get out here. I know you mentioned that in select ball you pitch a lot from time to time, but generally speaking, you're used to those shorter stints. Is it kind of fun to get out here and pitch more?
Definitely is. Like, I like my role from relieving. I like having all the pressure on me.
You'll take it. Hey, Lynnwood team that obviously you guys all grow up together. You play in the same select leagues and whatnot. Does it help you out knowing that you're kind of familiar with their roster already?
Yeah, a lot of those guys are on my Titans team, so I know a lot of their tendencies and stuff, and it's fun to win one against them.
And bragging rights against the crosstown rivals too. And also, it's kind of fun this year knowing that Lynnwood is one of your conference competitors, right?
Yeah.
So you guys got 2 more games against these guys if needed in the next few days. Are you able to pitch again, or is the arm a little tired right now?
I should be eligible on Friday.
So there we go. So again, 5-4 victory. And Raiden, we're going to let you hold the shirt up. Get a few more pictures there. Mom and a few others are over there. So again, Raiden Silva in long relief today, 5 2/3 innings. He is our Action Jackson Plumbing player of the game. Once again, your final score, Mountlake Terrace 5, Lynnwood 4 in 9 innings of play. Hawks advanced to 3-1 on the season. They're right back at it again tomorrow, and 2 more games with Lynnwood. You guys have to be kind of excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a good series. That's the way it started out.
So we won't be on broadcast for those. So come on out to either Lynnwood High School tomorrow or Mountlake Terrace on Friday and watch these guys play. If the next two games are anything like this one, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Raiden, I'll let you get back to your teammates.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. So, again, there we go. You got your audience there, too. So, Raiden Silva, 5 2/3 of inning pitched in relief. He picks up the victory. Hawks win here on the home field. For everybody involved today, we thank you for watching. Once again, the final score, Hawks 5, Royals 4. You've been watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Have a good night.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.